Intelligence Committee, Congressman Jim Himes. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Let's discuss several of these issues. There were questions over whether Leader McCarthy would appoint anyone at all to this select committee. Is it a good thing that he's now decided to actually fill these places on the committee?
Yeah, Wolf, and thanks for having me. I do think it's a good thing, and I'm not surprised by it. You know, the notion of handing over on this particular topic the stage, if you will, or the investigation, if you want to think about it more technically, to the Democrats, unrebutted, unanswered by the Republicans, I don't think was ever going to happen. You know, remember, there's a long history of these investigations that get politicized. Many Benghazi committees all had Democrats on them, et cetera. But no, look, this is good, but it's going to be hard, Wolf. And I would draw one important distinction between the January 6th Select Committee and, let's say, the Benghazi Committee. Yes, both sort of had a political overtone. But, you know, each and every one of us lived through January 6th, whereas none of us lived through what happened in Benghazi many years ago. And so the ability of one of the president's supporters, I think you mentioned Elise Stefanik or Jim Jordan, to just make stuff up, to tell us that what happened didn't happen, he or she would be talking to a group of people who actually lived through that day. So it's going to be a challenging thing. But at the end of the day, look, it's a really important committee. It's important that it be perceived as bipartisan, and not just because Speaker Pelosi put Congresswoman Cheney on. And we'll hope, maybe we'll be surprised, and this will actually be a thoughtful examination by the Republicans joining the Democrats about what I think was the most significant threat to our legislature since the Civil War.
Yeah, you got to learn exactly what happened. But if Republicans, Congressman, do focus their attention on pushing false narratives about the January 6th insurrection, could this committee end up actually doing more harm than good?
Well, I don't think so. I think, I mean, we've seen this already, right? We've seen Republicans suggest that, gosh, it wasn't that bad, or that these folks looked like ordinary tourists. And that probably speaks to about 1% of Americans, because 99% of Americans, A, are rational, and B, actually, I should probably revisit that percentage. But my point is that Americans saw what happened. And this is why it's an uncomfortable thing for Kevin McCarthy. This is a really hard thing to make up stories about. You know, you can argue that the president, in his conversation with the president of Ukraine, really didn't do anything bad. You know, that's a very technical topic. But, you know, every American saw the insurrection, the rebellion against our democracy on January 6th. And having Jim Jordan or Matt Gaetz shouting about it and making up lies about it is not, I don't think that serves either the country or the Republican Party if that's the way they go.
Let me ask you, Congressman, about the decision to take down the security perimeter fencing at the U.S. Capitol in the next few days. As you know, extremists and conspiracy theorists, they could once again gather in Washington next month because they claim that former President Trump will be reinstated in the White House in August. Are you concerned that the Capitol potentially, let's hope it won't happen, but potentially the Capitol will be left without enough protection once again?
No, I'm actually not concerned that the fence is the issue there, Wolf, and I'm actually very glad to see it come down. I can't tell you, every single day when I would walk over to the Capitol, and remember, we actually had 2 fences and we had National Guard. When I saw the symbol of our democracy armored the way an armed camp in, Kabul would be armored, every day it broke my heart. So I'm glad that we're back to the concept of the American people being able to come right up to the Capitol. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't work security. And starting with the fact that January 6th was not a fence issue, really. It was an intelligence issue. It was a failure to mobilize the manpower that was necessary to control that insurrection. And so, you know, hopefully lessons have been learned. We do have a set of recommendations from General Honoré. You made that point earlier. We're in the process of instituting those recommendations. But, you know, it's really important that we as a free and open country don't see our Capitol behind a military-style chain link fence.
Yeah, someone who loves Capitol Hill. Whenever I, over these 6 months, used to see armored vehicles, thousands of National Guard troops, external, you know, really wide perimeter fencing with barbed wire. It was so heartbreaking to see all of that. I'm happy a lot of that is gone, and maybe the rest will be gone soon. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.